I got out of Joker, Folie, Deux, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm just going to call it Joker 2. And holy donkey dick, did that movie suck. Joker 2 was absolutely terrible. I'm just going to go on a whim and say that right now. I, like a lot of people, were a huge fan. I was a huge fan of the first movie. I felt like the first Joker movie really did a very good job diving into the psyche of Arthur Fleck, or the Joker, uh, as he comes from this social outcast to sort of like this descent into madness and the mystery behind Joker, and we dive a little bit into his past, his family life, how broken he is, and everything like that. And then he plays this like persona of the Joker and goes mad and murders a whole bunch of people. I loved that aspect of the Joker in the last movie. And the Joker, back in 2019 when it released, it did so well in the box office. It was meant to be its own standalone movie. But because it did so well, they made a sequel with Joaquin Phoenix returning as the Joker and Harley Quinn being played by Lady Gaga, of all people. What? Anyway, Joker Folie Deux, Joker 2, almost acts as like a parody of the first movie. It was almost like as if a theater kid got the Joker IP, managed to bring a lot of the old actors back, and decided to just, hey, let's do a Joker movie with a bunch of fucking musicals. With a bunch of musical numbers. And unlike the first movie, where there was a story, where there was drama, where there was action, where there were moments with high stakes, moments with high emotion, it almost seems with this movie, it was just singing. It was just, you're taking your kid to their sister's fucking grade 9 theater production. That's what it is. And instead of your 13, 14-year-old child in a musical, it's a bunch of A-list actors playing these characters. I will be talking about spoilers here, so this is your warning right now. Even though there's not much of a plot to really talk about with this movie, we sort of start this movie off with Arthur Fleck in Arkham, in prison, and he is apparently now being considered mentally competent to stand trial for the murders that he did. I want to say this movie takes place two years after the events of the first movie. And while Arthur Fleck is being brought to his lawyer's office, he runs in this like other wing of the prison. He meets Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga's character. They're singing some choir song in the hallway. Harley Quinn notices Joker and she instantly falls in love with him, instantly just like is interested in him. Um, and then Joker is brought to this music group, and Harley Quinn and Joker immediately hit it off. Lady Gaga almost sort of like manipulates Joker, acting as if she is exactly like him. She hated her parents. Her parents had Lady Gaga committed. That she's so psychotic and everything like that. Just trying to relate to the Joker in a sense. And Arthur just completely falls in love with this woman. And then they start singing. It almost seemed as if the only reason why this movie is a musical is because Lady Gaga is in it. Almost as like, we can't have Lady Gaga play Harley Quinn in this movie unless she sings, so that way half the songs in the soundtrack go on the Billboard Hot 100. It does not make sense. Because Lady Gaga, I will say, did a good job here. Did a good job here with what she was given, and so did Joaquin Phoenix. I felt like Lady Gaga did not need all of this singing. Anyway, these two hit it off. Joker then starts to stand trial, and his defense lawyer is trying to come up with this idea, and this is almost like what the message of the movie is trying to be, where Arthur Fleck and the Joker are two different personalities, and Arthur Fleck is insane because, he believes that these are two different people living in the same body. And I will say that is a very good message. But I don't understand this. For those of you who have not seen this movie yet, if you were expecting to go into this movie feeling like this was going to be a legitimate sequel to the first movie, where there's going to be a lot more action, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of murders, thinking that Joker and Harley Quinn are going to go on this fucking murderous rampage on everybody, then you are going to be severely disappointed. You are going to walk in to a 2.5 hour musical theater production. So anyway, Joker, there was a scene in the movie where Joker and Harley Quinn are watching a old movie in the music room. Harley Quinn's like, let's get out of here. Joker's like, no, I want to watch this movie. It's a musical, coincidentally. Harley Quinn gets up out of her chair. She sets fire to like the piano in the back of the room, and then it creates this huge fire, and all the cops and all the convicts are trying to escape. Harley Quinn brings Joker to like a fucking conveniently unguarded exit. They're trying to escape, and they're singing throughout the entire thing. No lights, no nothing, until Harley Quinn and Joker try to reach the gate, and that's when the cops catch them, and they are unable to escape. We get a shit ton of like fantasy sequences, and this is really, besides, I want to say, the third act, where you see most of the action. Half the time, Arthur sort of like fantasizes like this like stage show with he and Harley, and they're singing and they're doing all these duets, and they're murdering a bunch of the audience members. There's even one fantasy where Arthur's in the courtroom and he's beating the hell out of everybody, even beating the hell out of the judge. And then 2 or 3 times throughout this movie, he also imagines Harley Quinn shooting him, almost as if he sort of predicted that Harley Quinn was going to betray him, almost as if he didn't completely trust Harley Quinn, and that was because his lawyer said that Harley Quinn is lying to you. Harley Quinn is lying because she wants to essentially get close to you. That she's acting like she's this complete psychopath. She graduated from a school in psychology. Her father is not this fucking, like, absolutely abandoned, like, piece of shit. He's actually a doctor and everything like that. And Arthur just is having this big, complete, what the fuck. He goes to confront Harley Quinn about it when she visits him at the hospital. And Harley Quinn's like, yeah, I did that so that way I could get you to like me. I really like the Joker and all that jazz. And Arthur's just like, okay. There's also a little bit of, like, instances that Arthur Fleck, like, half the time he's treated like a god in this prison, and then the other half he's treated like absolute shit from the guards. Most of this movie is dedicated to one of two things: the court case and the musical numbers. There's not much of a story here. In the courtroom, they're still trying to do this. Is the person that you've seen murdering all of these people, seen murdering Robert De Niro on television, is that Arthur Fleck, or is that the Joker? That's literally what the entire case is. Even though there's hard video evidence, it doesn't fucking matter whether or not it is the Joker or Arthur Fleck. He murdered a bunch of people. But I understand. Okay, not guilty by reason of insanity. The motherfucker still should be locked up. But the people that are prosecuting him in this trial want to give him the death penalty. So they're trying to do this, he's two different people. And because the Arthur's lawyer is doing this too much, Arthur's almost like, you're fired. Arthur says you're fired to his lawyer. He chooses to represent himself, and then Arthur just dresses up in the full Joker makeup. I want to say the best part of this movie was when Gary, the little midget from the first movie, takes the stand, and Gary's like, what the hell, man? You were always nice to me. This isn't you. This isn't the Arthur that I knew. This isn't the Arthur I knew from work. And this was the best part of the movie. This was the drama. This was the drama that we knew from the first movie. And then Joker's over there acting as if he's a fucking gangster with this over-exaggerated accent, being like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's just like, what the fuck am I watching? Am I watching a Joker movie? Or am I watching Jim Carrey in Liar Liar? What is this? Anyway, towards the end of the movie, Arthur sort of admits to the jury, this is when he knows he's losing, this is when he knows he's fucked. He says, the Joker's not real. Like, there's no two different personalities. There's no Arthur Fleck or the Joker. This is all Arthur. The Joker is not real. It's a persona. It's a character. It's not who I think I am. This pisses off Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn fucks off for the courtroom. She doesn't wanna associate with him anymore because she loves the Joker. She doesn't give a flying fuck about Arthur Fleck. And while Arthur's trying to explain to the jury that, no, this is me, I fucked up. He even admitted to killing his own mother. A fucking car bomb goes off in the courtroom out of nowhere. Joker, like, shit escalates in the courtroom. Joker's laughing. And then a bomb goes off in the courtroom. And then Arthur gets up almost scot-free. And tries getting out of there. He gets picked up by some Joker fanboys outside. They try driving him somewhere. And then Joker gets out of the car. He's running, trying to find Harley, getting chased by cops. He finds Harley at the staircase where Joker danced in the first movie that went insanely viral. And he's like, I'm free now. Let's go. Let's start this life that we're talking about with a mountain. They keep mentioning fucking building a mountain or living in a mountain on a hill, whatever the fuck, throughout the movie. And Harley Quinn's just like, no, it's all a fantasy. Joker is just a fantasy. He's not real. So you admitting that Joker is a fantasy, our fantasy died. And basically tells him to go fuck himself. She leaves. Joker gets recaptured. And the end of the movie sees Joker sitting in the sort of like living room of the prison. Like they're all watching TV, him and all the inmates. The guard's like, hey Fleck, you have a visitor. And Joker's like, okay. He gets up, starts heading towards the visiting room. And then some fucking guy, like some inmate that, you know, is probably seen in like 2 or 3 camera shots around the beginning of the movie, is like, wait, Arthur, wait up, let me tell you a joke. And Arthur's like, okay, make it quick. The guy tells like a joke and it ends off with the you get what you fucking deserve line. He fucking stabs Arthur like 5 or 6 times, and Arthur is like collapsing, and while this is happening, he's imagining himself getting betrayed by Harley Quinn again. And then Arthur collapses and dies. And I've also seen reviews where it's like the inmate that stabbed him was starting to like carve his face. I didn't even notice this when I was watching the movie. Was starting to cut his face, almost like it's alluding to that is going to be Heath Ledger's Joker. Like cutting his face like the smile because, oh, you want to know how I got these scars, you know, stuff like that. Almost as if like this is a prequel to the fucking Dark Knight or something like that, where Joaquin Phoenix was the Joker before him, and then this fucking guy is supposed to be Heath Ledger's Joker? Are you kidding me? This is all some big universe? That the Heath Ledger's iconic Joker is just a fucking copy? I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. And that's how the movie ends. We don't see what Harley Quinn does after this. She tells Joker to fuck himself. And then Arthur gets stabbed by this random guy. The movie feels so anticlimactic. You don't get the confident Joker. You don't get the murderous psychopath, sociopath Joker. You get a broken man who only has like a little bit of confidence because he has a girlfriend now and they sing. That's it. There's had to have been about like 10 or 11 musical numbers in this movie, and it almost seemed as if it's like there's a dramatic scene either in the jail or the courthouse, and then there's a musical number. Then there's a dramatic scene, and then there's a musical number. Then there's a bit of action with the blowing up the courthouse, and then there's a musical number. There's literally a scene where after Harley Quinn leaves the courtroom and before the jury's about to read the verdict, Joker literally spends like 2 or 3 minutes singing to Harley Quinn over voicemail. Like, is this a Joker movie? It's almost as if the director didn't like the first movie and then wanted to undo what he did. Basically like what J.J. Abrams did to Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. This is what he's trying to do between Joker and Joker Folie Deux. What is this? By no means is this the worst sequel I've ever seen, but it is definitely one of the worst sequels I have ever seen, which prompted me to make this review. I know this isn't really my forte of content. I usually make movie reviews. I usually make wrestling related videos. I usually do universe mode. I usually do this relating to professional wrestling. But this movie was so bad I had to do a review on it. This completely fucking tarnishes what they were trying to do in the first movie. This tortures everything Joaquin Phoenix tried to do as the Joker. This completely tarnishes everything that they were trying to build and everything that made Joker 1 such a success in the first place. It was almost like everyone involved in this movie only saw, hey, this movie did so great, so they wouldn't care if we changed so much of it because it's going to make a shit ton of money anyway. The movie's at like 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's making nowhere near the money that the budget was. The budget is a rumored $200 million. It hasn't even made $50 million yet. Like, this is a failure. If you are a fan of the first Joker movie, if you're a fan of any Joker in any form of media, comic books, movies, video games, don't see this movie, because this movie will probably ruin the Joker character for you. Again, like, there are some positives. One or two of the musical numbers I liked. The visuals were stunning. The visuals, the cinematography, the lighting was phenomenal, which you kind of have to expect with the budget that it was given. Aforementioned Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix did amazing with the work that they were given. Even the guy who played Gary, I forget his fucking name, but the midget who plays Gary, he had an amazing showing in that scene he was in. But the story, or lack thereof, completely ruined it for me. And the amount of musical numbers took everything away from this movie. It made the movie feel less like it was 2.5 hours and more like I was sitting there for 5 or 6. I knew that there were reviews that this movie was bad, but I did not think it was this bad. I did not think it would have completely disregarded everything that made the first movie so great. This was not the Joker. This was not Arthur Fleck. This was a guy who got laid for the first time and is in a murder case. Like, that was it. That was literally it. It felt so anticlimactic. It was like, okay, he escaped a blown up courtroom and then he dies with no explanation. Don't see this movie if you haven't already. And if you have, I feel bad for you. I certainly feel fucking robbed. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your money. It's not worth your energy. 100%. This movie reminded me why I am not a big fan of musical theater. Ladies and gentlemen, I give Joker Folie Deux a big fat 2 out of 10. Only for the performances and the scene with Joker and Gary. That's it. That's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to have to conclude my video today. This is my Joker Folie Deux, or Joker 2 movie review. What did you think of the movie? If you've already seen it, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd very much love to see your thoughts and opinions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you like professional wrestling, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to turn post notifications on so that way you never miss an upload. And until next time, this has been your boy Willie Does Wrestling. I will see you in the next video. Be good people and peace. Oh, I need a drink.